45Drives provides turnkey enterprise data storage and virtual compute solutions for single and multi-server configurations. "45Drives" customers value solutions that prioritize risk mitigation while being reliable, secure, performant, scalable, and high capacity. Powered by open source, 45Drive solutions provide flexibility, security, and freedom from vendor lock-in, ensuring you retain full control of your storage infrastructure. We are proud to be a platinum sponsor for this year's Ceph in Vancouver, Canada.
Thanks, everyone. So this is exciting. My name is Brett Kelly. I'm the technical director at 45Drives. This is our third Ceph attending, and we've grown our contribution, if you will, each time. This year we're platinum sponsors and really excited to do so. We felt like it was right because we were on home soil, right? We are another Canadian company. We're on the East Coast. Fun little tidbit I shared was it was actually distance-wise closer to go over to Europe the last 2 years than it was to come here. But anyway, it's good to be here on a home game, right? So what I'm talking about today is who we are at 45Drives, for those who don't quite know, how we contribute to the Ceph project, and what we see from talking to our users, and really when we go try to sell Ceph on top of our open and designed for Ceph hardware. And what I wanted to do was bring some of that feedback back to the group here on things that we see, what people want, right? Actually, it was great watching the talk right before us because our points kind of align very much with what IBM was saying, which usually means we're all thinking in the right direction. So yeah, the title of our talk here, Sustaining Momentum in Open Source Storage. Thanks, marketing team. Really what we're talking about is just that feedback and everything like that. So let's start first with who is 45Drives. We are a multinational now hardware manufacturer and Ceph vendor. So what I mean by that is we started here in Canada, over on the East Coast, Sydney, Nova Scotia, and we've expanded down in the States. But what we do is we design, manufacture, and sell our own hardware layer. Now, of course, we use off-the-shelf equipment from other places, but a lot of the backplane design and the server chassis design, that's all done here and done in North America. It's been really fun. Our journey over that, we were doing that first and then started doing Ceph for probably about 8-9 years now. And the two married really well in together, and then since then have made tailorings to our products, which when FedEx delivers our boxes today, you can check out on our sponsor table out there. So like I said, we've been supporting Ceph and designing open source flexible servers for nearly a decade now, servers long before Ceph, last 10, and we're supporters of the open source projects and communities. I like to make the point too of like, how do you contribute, right? The first thought in your head is commit code. You saw the graphic in the last talk. IBM and Red Hat do most of the contributions. There are other ways to contribute. It's doing things like this. It's monetary, it's sponsoring, it's bringing the community together, it's going out, selling the project, bringing those people in so they can talk to developers and everything. We've got a lot of success on speaking about Ceph in a fun and not terrifying way on YouTube. We started doing it because, well, we wanted to do it, and we had a lot of success with that. So I recommend, if you want to learn more about us and our involvement too, check out 45Drives on YouTube. We've got a lot of good content, not just on Ceph, on everything, but it's Ceph here today, so we'll talk just about that. We've also been, it's not just Ceph we support Rocky Linux, some other ones. Anything we kind of believe, all the pieces of the platform that we build the business on everything, we want to contribute where we can and give back and acknowledge that you can't just take, right? So I kind of started talking about this already, but how do we contribute to the Ceph project? So we've been advocates and fans for years now. I'll kind of fanboy moment a little bit here though. When I first started learning Ceph years ago, there was a lot of names on the mailing lists. videos, everything, and then getting to come to Ceph conference and meeting them. Dan, that was the first face I saw, but there's a lot of people here, and there's been a lot of good developers and people with the project over the years, so you get a lot of insight. Like I said, we create a lot of videos, written content about the project, and how to use, right? How to, from our point of view, hardware is like the storage servers we manufacture. We feel like we're in a little bit of a unique position where we still manufacture and design our own servers and then go support the software layer on top. So we can kind of make sure that the two commingle, if you will. And of course, monetary support for the foundation and supporting projects that Ceph uses as a platform. Where we found success with Ceph. So like I mentioned, right, like we've been here for 8 years coming up, yeah, and there's been a lot of people in the community using Ceph already. So when you came in, who are we? We're just going to be another CLISO, another 421? No, you got to find your niche and fill in. So where we found success with Ceph was the concept of Ceph for everyone. And what we meant by that, and it was well said by IBM there, is like Ceph is first thought of something massive for massive, massive storage, which it is, it's great at that. But it also works really, really well if you start with a couple nodes, because the HA, the multi-protocol, the wealth of features that come with it, and taking that and going and selling to businesses that maybe would just go, I don't know, buy a single server from somewhere off the shelf, but they want the HA, they want all that stuff, but they don't think maybe their workload or challenge is worthwhile enough, right? So we came out, and then our positioning and marketing to that was trying to make Ceph for everyone easy and not as scary. And we've found a lot of success with that. And providing an open and flexible storage platform from all the way from the hardware, and then backed by our talented support team that we have at home, because I'll allude in another slide, Ceph is awesome. It's not always easy, especially when it's been running for a while, right? So you need some support, you need people to back it up, and, well, someone to call if something goes wrong, right? So from that success with Ceph, I wanted to talk today about like kind of 3 main points of things that we hear back, and where we are running into a little bumps with people on selling them Ceph. I'm not gonna lie, a couple years ago, it was easy. You'd go out and you'd they're like, this is awesome, boom, boom, boom. And there wasn't a lot of competition. They did so many things better than what, I don't know, kind of was there in the legacy already. But that is changing a little bit. There's a continued growth of competition, and particularly in the world of high performance file systems, but not just file systems, but people still love their file systems, and backed by NVMe. And I know this is not a new point. This has been made at past Cephlicons and everything, and there's ongoing work by talented people to get every drop of I/O out of SSDs. But being as efficient as you can with squeaking all the performance out of these fast devices is imperative, because people are catching up. There is still a perceived risk of adopting open source, and Ceph in particular. Ceph is still hard. That's true. It is. I mean, on one point of view, it's good for the support business. On the other hand, though, when you go, it's that perceived risk of like, oh man, like, am I gonna have to fix myself? Who can I lean on? And one thing that we talk about is exactly this community here. You buy from one vendor and they can help you, but being a good open vendor is working with your peers. I know we've got a colleague here from 42On, Spencer, who used to work with us and has went and joined on the other side. And we welcome things like that, right? The spreading of the knowledge and the friendship. And yeah, it's still hard. It's still something that our sales team bumps into, selling the perceived risk of open source based things. And there is an increasing end user desire to always use denser storage media, to lower that total cost of ownership by utilizing denser storage media. There's 2 problems with this. Mainly the too many eggs. There's 2 problems. There's more of the abstract one, too many eggs in one basket. We're good friends with Seagate at 45Drives. Actually, they've been giving us a lot of insider looks and quick and validation with their new generation of hard drives. Actually, they've really hit a brand new, they've kind of kicked an old commodity piece of hardware into the future by introducing heat-assisted magnetic recording, HAMR hard drives. From our testing and everything with them, they work great. The problem is it's 30 terabytes in one SATA connection. It's kind of like a big multi-story building and one elevator to get everyone out. So this is still a problem, but the end users, people want to buy it. They come in and they go, well, I don't want to buy this many nodes with half the storage. I want to buy half the nodes and double the drives. Now, there's plenty of technical reasons why that can be a challenge, but people want it, right? And it's not just hard drives too. Talking to companies like Micron and Kioxia, like they've got drives coming with hundreds of terabytes on them, 256 NVMe drives. Now you solve one problem a little bit, you have way more paths to leave for data to fly in and out and recover, but denser storage media, or NVMe and hard drives, are very much desired, and it does not feel, and I'd be welcome to talk to people throughout the 2 days here on how Ceph can best utilize really, really dense things. So I guess I'll end on this and what to focus on and what we really, both internally with our research and with working with the community, is that squeezing as many IOPS out of those NVMe-backed clusters as possible, maintaining a lower dollar per IOP, and reduce that overhead of Ceph on NVMe. Crimson's coming. We're really excited to see that. That should help. We need to continue reducing the perceived risk and challenge of Ceph. And that's not just, I do want to say Ceph ADM and the documentation in the front end of it is awesome, or not documentation, the dashboard is awesome. It is. But in solving the need of like, oh, it's not as scary, I can jump into a Ceph cluster easier, it still doesn't solve the fact that it's kind of hard once it's big and running. And sometimes you can start something, goes great in testing, it grows big, and then it gets challenging. It doesn't replace the knowledge and wisdom to design a good cluster and to maintain a good cluster. And how do you do that? Well, I don't really have all the answers, but like documentation, stability, and improve the current system of technical writing on the project, and that's something that on the foundation we're a part of. And it continue to make Ceph easy to start with, but not so much easy to start with like just press a button, it all works. It's remove people's fear, let them know how it all works and make it approachable in a way. And that's really not a technical answer, it's a communication thing. And I think the project has gone really, really, really well on doing that, and that's something that we at 45Drives feel that we can really contribute as well to being able to talk and share. A colleague of mine, Mitch Hall, is here as well. He's a great guy to talk to, does a lot of our videos and break down. He's a competitive fella. Mark Nelson did a blog or so a bit ago about getting, what was it, 1 billion IOPS? And Mitch was like, yeah, I'm doing that too. So we're chasing. Anyway. And then the last thing I want to talk about too, where we are a hardware vendor, we have a close relationship with the SSD manufacturers, with the hard drive manufacturers. We often speak to them and they're like, well, I know you keep pushing 16 and 18s, that's great, but like the bosses really want to move the 30s, they want to move the higher capacities. And when we tell them sometimes the limitation of it doesn't fit super well, we explain to them why it happens, and they go, oh, okay, I didn't know that. So another thing we want to see is really kind of bridge the two together, and I know Western Digital has joined the foundation, and we hope to see Seagate and other ones join as well too. So everyone can really, I don't know, see the benefit and contribute and communicate, because someone said it, well, it's a common saying, but rising tide lifts all boats, and if it's good for Ceph, it's good for the hardware manufacturers as well too. So with that, thanks for listening. Check out our sponsorship booth. Right now there's a bunch of brochures, but there are going to be some servers there to take a look at, again, when they do get delivered. So thanks everyone.